Morning everyone. It's been an absolutely fantastic morning so far. So my CitA and myself are working together on an initiative this year where we're hoping to publish the BIM in Ireland 2019 report. To do that, we've had to and are in the process of performing a significant body of work in regards to research in Ireland. So one of the initiatives we formed is the BIM in Ireland Umbrella Forum, and the overall purpose of this is to provide a holistic environment for all of the individual bodies to come together into one kind of umbrella group and suppose put together a consistent message. Now, in all fairness, these groups are talking amongst each other. A number of practitioners on one group is within another group, so they are talking, but this just offers another channel or vehicle for them to kind of come together. We want to make the Irish sector aware of the work being performed within the area of digital construction, so it gives the professional institutes an opportunity for me to step up and also put across the work that they are doing within their individual silos. And we're hoping to make some recommendations at the end of this to the MC roadmap to help support them moving forward. So I suppose just an overview of where we are across some of the professional bodies. The Association of Consulting Engineers are working with the Irish Construction Council. They are currently looking at the possibility of an Irish Plan of Works similar to what we have with the REBA Plan of Work stages. So they're kind of investigating that from an Irish context. The BIM regions have a number of dates set up that they're hoping to get a couple of regions going now in May, with a flagship event as well coming. So Emma Hayes is in charge of that. As I said, the CIC are looking at potential plan of works. The Construction Industry Federation recently published a BIM starter pack. This goes along with their BIM standards and policy guide, as well as bidding for BIM guide. These are all free documents available to download up on their website. LICA, who are part of the organisation, are working across a number of different chapters: the SSI, Institute of Engineering Surveyors, as well as the Northern Irish BIM Hub. So having them involved gives us a cross kind of discipline exposure to each one of these. The NSI, the Mirror Committee, are beginning to work on the Irish National Annex for IS 19650. We also have 3 Irish BIM experts on the SIN Council. So Ralph is chairing that, so if you want to talk further to Ralph about that. So that's great that we're kind of looking at kind of moving towards creating an annex. Our Royal Institute of Architects Ireland have released their BIM starter pack with loads of templates to do with EIRs and BIM execution plans. So I think they're available for download as well, a number of the documents. So they are particularly interesting and kind of gives us a potential template to use across multiple projects. The SSI are in the process of reviewing these and looking for synergies about how they can interact. Transport Infrastructure in Ireland have a project underway in Cork, which they're hoping to use BIM technologies and processes. Women in BIM are presented at the Construction Summit, so they're hoping to kind of get more members through this way, and as well as Mary went into discussion there on the public sector. She's heavily involved in public sector BIM, and they're looking at promoting a hackathon with mainly looking at open BIM. So as we can see in here, that there is an awful lot going on at this moment in time with all the professional institutes, and it shows that the whole idea with the Umbrella Forum is it just brings us all together before each one of these events, and we can start talking, which they are doing individually, but also just another opportunity to kind of promote a interesting kind of environment. So in 2007, myself, Alan, and Professor Roger West undertook a BIM maturity survey in assistance with Dr. Mohammed Qasim and Dr. Bill Arsukar. What this looked at is understanding where Ireland are at the moment in time, 2017, in their BIM maturity, BIM journey. With the recent release of the roadmap, as well as the Irish Public Sector Initiative with the bands, we decided that we would look at this again in 2019 and compare where we are 2 years later. Has there been a change for the better or worse? So the first model looked at BIM diffusion for Ireland, and this looked at the different BIM fields against different BIM kind of collaboration policies. So what this looked at was, for example, where we were quite strong in 2017 when it came to technology. We were quite strong in modelling, collaboration and integration. And that shouldn't be any kind of surprise, because we do have fantastic infrastructure when it comes to technology. We were pretty good when it came to modelling processes, but we started to become weaker in collaboration processes and integration processes. And as you can see there in the policy, we were weak across the board between modelling, collaboration and integration. 2019 has seen a nice, not a huge, but pleasant shift, where we're still strong in the technology area, but when it comes to processes, we've shown a nice rise with regards to collaboration, integration, and more importantly, in the policy side, we're showing a slight, but noticeable increase. What that means is that obviously the public sector kind of announcement, as well as the National BIM Roadmap, and more importantly, ISO becoming PAS becoming an ISO standard. This has shown that we are kind of affecting these and we are integrating them, and that we are kind of starting to kind of show a strong in this area again. But hopefully, you know, I mean, they're still not wonderful, there's still a journey to go there, but it's a good markable improvement. What this looks at is what a roadmap should look at, what each country should have in place. So, for example, 3 would recommend the highest score there. The UK came out one of the highest, so they're nearly 3 in all particular sectors. Where we were strong in this in 2017 was when it came to champions and drivers, learning and education, and technology infrastructure. They still remain our strongest 3 areas. However, there are markable improvements when it comes to objectives and milestones, which we have now in place, obviously between 2018 to 2021, as well as an regulatory framework. Now that goes from a 0.5 to 1. It's still only a third of where it could be, but as going back to the previous results, we're starting to see a marked improvement across the board. What this looked at was the dynamics. So this is kind of looking at who's leading this. Is it coming from the bottom up, top down, or middle out? So the middle out would represent where it was in 2017, probably the kind of the larger contractors, and looking down and then being responsible for upskilling the SMEs, as well as probably construction organisations. We have not moved by this. We are still firmly within this sector. So despite regulatory frameworks and I suppose policy initiatives, we still don't see that there's leadership coming from up to top end. We're still seeing it kind of coming from the middle sector. This looked at the government's approach, and where we were in 2017 was incredibly passive. Observe, encourage and make aware. If we look at the UK, where they would be the control, to enforce through their mandate and to prescribe through a set of particular recommendations and criteria within that mandate. Where are we now, 2019? Not a huge amount of difference, but we have seen that the government have moved within a monitor section to a more tracking element, but then unfortunately instead of incentivising and educating, they regress back to encouragement and making aware. Where we are in the diffusion responsibility model, this looks at 3 particular areas. It looks at technology, who the key players are, who's the key players when it comes to process, and who's the key players when it comes to policy. Policy still remains the same. Instead of it being led from the policy makers, the educational institutions are the ones taking the kind of lead in this. And if you look at kind of the multiple courses through TU Dublin, the MSc in Applied Building Information Modelling, we have Jim here from GMIT. They have a fantastic higher diploma in Building Information Modelling. Waterford have an undergraduate degree as well in BIM. So across the whole of Ireland, we are quite strong in this area, and the education institutions are still leading it. With regards to technology, we've seen that the service providers have overtook the developers slightly, and so there's been a big increase in there. And when it comes to the processes, the construction organisations are still leading there, with drops seen within the industry associations and community of practices. So there hasn't been a shift there, but there's definitely, I suppose, when it comes to the construction organisations going back to middle up, you can start to see that they're kind of complementing each other, the results. So we'll hope to put out a report on this. We'll have it in the 2019 BIM in Ireland report, but we'll probably put it out an intermediate report to kind of summarise exactly what this means. We've also working with the MBS survey. I think most of you know that the MBS survey, when it comes to the UK, as well as when it comes to international jurisdictions, they are one of the main bodies. So what we have is 116 responses so far. I put up the QR code there. The most high level results are that 75% of people have adopted BIM, 66 have knowledge and skills in the area, 3/4 of respondents said that they would respond to CitA information about BIM as well as the MBS. The majority of where the Irish Government's public sector strategy, however the minority only a minority think that the Irish government's BIM adoption has been successful, and still a minority but more think the MPC roadmap has been successful. So the results so far do indicate an awareness and interest in BIM, as well as an encouraging scientific adoption, but we'll explore this within the full analysis. So I've just put up details there for myself. Alan and I, as Peter alluded, we went up to McAuley's and we did a case study in the particular area. If your company has a case study that they'd like to get out there, if you contact myself, we'd be happy to sit with you, document it, and then we can include that within the BIM in Ireland report and hopefully kind of showcase some of the great work you're doing as well. I'll be back up in here in April or May for the next event, where I'll be giving a further update on the community to practice, further update on the maturity model, as well as hopefully we're looking into other a number of research initiatives, so everyone will update you exactly where we are. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Barry.